Let's try that one again. Nice. Awesome. All right, so now let's go ahead and play it along with the track here. You did it all right, so that was really good.
I'll start down. Oh, sorry, I need to turn it up. I can't.
Yeah, that's fair. Turn it up. The volume is fine. Also, if you want to make it a little slower, that's okay as well.
Just start again because I couldn't really hear it. Away from me.
Yeah, so that's okay. You know, if you played it at 0.75, I think it would have been a little bit better, right? Just
Yeah.
taking just a little bit slower.
Sure. Let me do that.
Well, it's okay. I mean, we'll go with what you got there. That's fine. But do you practice with the tracks?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. If it goes too fast, then it's not really too good there. I want to make it. We want to make it kind of so that way you could play it faster.
I don't know why I forgot. I don't know.
All right.
I get flustered. I try to tell myself to breathe. That's like a way to calm down.
Yeah. Well, when we're recording and stuff, we have different type of pressure. When you're playing in front of with someone without a recording, it's a different type of pressure. When you record, it's a different pressure. When you do it live in front of a room, it's going to be a different type of pressure. These different types of pressure. So, we were working on, I think we had 2 chords last time. We did A and C, right?
Yeah.
So let's take a look at D. And here's the thing about D. We have 2 different Ds. So let's do both of them at the same time. We're going to do the pad here. Alright. So we have a D minor. And then we also have a D. So what's the formula for the D minor?
1 3 5, or 1 3 B 5.
What is the B called?
Is it like B minor? No.
Not quite. It's a flat.
So it's B flat.
Well, it's a 3 flat, right?
Okay. Okay.
Right. And then this is just a regular 3. Alright, so what's the difference? What does this mean?
Is D minor like a half step down with 3?
Yeah, it's going to be a half step down on the 3 right there. So in that case, what are the letters that we're dealing with here? What are the actual letters? Let's try to spell that out. Alright, we'll give a little space here. So obviously it starts on the letter
Is that A?
A.
1 is A? Yeah. I don't know. Does it start with like, oh, it starts with D.
Of course.
D.
Okay, very good. So we start with our letter D. Here, we'll just cut that just to make it a little bit easier. What's the 3?
C.
C.
Because there's a, oh no, F, I'm sorry.
F would be correct.
Yeah.
How about for D major?
Backwards. F.
You sure about that? We have a discrepancy here. This is 3 F, and this is 3 flat F.
Oh.
So how do we
The
do
3
about
on the
that?
regular D be E?
Well, it wouldn't be an E because E is backwards. And here's how you could figure that out. Over here, you see, let's try to figure out which letter we're playing here on these numbers here. This is obviously, the 0 is going to be what?
0.
What's
Nope.
the letter?
Oh. 0 before 2.
Which string is that?
Let's try D.
That's the D string. So this is the letter D, correct?
Yes.
And that's the same in both cases, isn't it?
Yeah.
What about the 2 right here? What letter is that? What string is this?
G.
It's a G string. Now, if it's a 2, what letter do you think that might be?
I'm trying to remember the formula. It's like,
Keep in mind that most letters are 2 spaces. Every 2 spaces is another letter. So if it was a 0 was G, and then the 2 is going to be probably the next letter.
that would be G. I'm not A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 8.
What was
I have
that?
no idea what comes following G.
What do you think? It rhymes with H. A.
A,
After G, you start it over again.
G. Oh, okay. All right. I was like, what?
Okay. So A and H, that kind of rhyme. All right. So that's the letter A, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so where does it go up here in our little number sequence here?
Yeah. Under the
Under the
second
3?
letter.
The second
Yeah.
letter? Are you sure about that?
Well, it's
Let's try that. Is that in order? D.
no, no.
Okay. Let's put this in order.
F, G.
Right? Number 5, right? What's number 5? 3 is F. What's number 5?
Yeah. G.
Not G.
G. A.
Okay. So our 5 is going to be A.
Okay.
All right. Let's do something like that. So yes, now we've got our 3 letters here, but we're still thinking about this F because there's just sort of a little problem here.
Right.
So what's the next letter that we're playing with right here on this string here? That's the second string. This is, what string is that?
That's B.
That's the B string. And what letter is this if this is number 3? We had already figured this out in a different place.
I guess 3 is B.
3 is not B. 0 is B. So 0 would be B. And then, can you maybe try to play this on your guitar? Like 0 is B, right? Is that the right string?
That's wrong.
Let's just start playing with the 0 on the B string. It's not the right string.
0's on the
0
string.
on the B string, the second string.
Oh.
Okay, good. So that's the B. Now, where's the C note? Where's the next note? Which number is it? It's on the same string.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah, so let's play the 0 on the B string, right? That's not the right string.
Oh, second string.
Second string. That's the B note, right?
Yeah.
So now we're gonna look at the numbers on the B string and the same strings. We're not playing chords or anything. We're just playing that one string. Now, what's the next fret? What's the first fret on the B string? You gonna play that? What note is that?
Sounds like an E.
After B comes what?
That'd be C.
Okay. So there you go. Now, that's the C note, right? So
Yeah.
what's going to be the 3? Going from 1 to 3, there's 2 spaces in between, right?
E.
After C comes what letter?
Well, C comes D, but then it says 2 spaces, so it's like E, right?
So you're trying to jump there. But remember, we said 2 spaces equals 1 letter. Most of the time.
Okay. Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Okay, so it's E.
Yeah, it's not E.
It's not E?
2 spaces equals 1 letter.
How many spaces? There's what? 2 spaces? Equals 1 letter, so D is...
Okay, so if we start on 0, 0 is what letter?
It's B.
B. If we went to a 1, that letter was what?
C.
C. So now we've already used up the 1 space thing. Some of these letters, there's only 2 instances that it's only 1 space apart, you get to the next letter. B and C is one of those opportunities. So 0, 1, now we've used that up, and now, from now on, for some significant number of letters, it's always going to be 2 spaces gives you the next letter. So from 1 to 3, that's 2 spaces, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now,
Here's
what's
one
the
letter.
next letter after C?
D.
D. Okay, so D is the 3rd, right? Fret
Okay.
3. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, actually it does.
Okay, great. So yeah, so when you see like 1 letter close together, like B to C, you're not going to see another 1 close together for a while. You have to sort of wait. You got to go 2, 2, and then maybe you'll sign another 1. And the formula is actually 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. So you're gonna have to wait a couple of jumps before you have that one that's right next to it, and then a couple of jumps, and then there's the one that's right next to it. It kind of goes like that. Let me actually even write that up here somewhere, so that way we can try to figure this out, right? I'll show you what the letter. The numbers to letters whole situation is, the formula and whatnot. So let's start with the C here. D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. This corresponds to 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1.
That's 2, 2.
There. And I'm going to just sort of make these bold. So that way that makes a little bit of sense there. Spread these out maybe a little bit more perhaps. And then we'll keep these ones close together. Yeah, we'll give a good space in between there. Huh? That's fine. We'll just do it like that. 2. And then we'll just kind of, just like that. We'll make it 2, 2. This one's again 2, and then 1, and just like that. So we kind of have our little chart here for the letters.
Okay.
All right. It's our little key. That'll help us. So yeah, so when we started on the B, you know, we just go 1 to get to the C, and that's our first fret. And then from there, we got to move 2 to get to D. Now we're at the 3rd fret. Bam. All right. So now we'll take a look at, what was that letter again right there? What was it?
It's E.
An E?
This is one up, because 1 is D.
1 is C. This is the B string, right?
What? Yeah, okay, B.
So B is 0.
2 spaces. So B is 0, up 2 spaces is one letter.
How many spaces is B to C?
1.
1 space. So where's the C on the B string?
1st fret.
1st fret. Very good. Yeah. And then what's the 3 then?
So 2 spaces equals 1 letter, right? So say D. D.
D is correct. All right. So we have a repetition of D over here, right?
Right.
All right. Very good. So we have 2 D's in this. Just keep that in mind. There's 2 D letters in this chord. D here and a D here.
Okay.
All right. So now we're going to look at the only one that's different between these two. Here's the 1 on the D minor, and here's the 2 on the D chord, right?
Uh-huh.
So what letter is this 1 right here? This is, which string is that?
E.
E string. Okay, so if we go from E and we play a 1, what is that all of a sudden?
F.
That's an F chord, exactly, or an F note, exactly. So in the D minor situation right up here, the 3 flat, this letter is what?
F.
That's an F. So that's correct, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that means that this must be incorrect.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we go down here and we look at that letter, look at that, it's a 2. Is that still an F?
No.
No, it's not an F, right? Well, what is here? You'd have to, in order to get to a G, you have to go how many spaces?
2 spaces.
2 spaces.
From F.
But you're only going 1 more space, right? You're only going 1 space. So what's halfway in between F and G? Remember this situation over here?
It's like F with, oh.
Remember what that's all about?
F lowercase.
F lowercase.
F.
If you're going 1...
Oh, F major?
It's not an F major.
F minor.
It's not an F minor. Those are chords that you're nominating here. What are these things?
Major, minor. What they?
Okay, here.
F sharp. F sharp.
Yeah, exactly.
F sharp. Yeah.
Oopsies. I'll call it like the sharp. And here we've got a flat. Right, just so we know those names. Actually, I have to put it right afterwards. I don't know. We should know this.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
just go like that. So sharp and flat. Perfect. So it's an F sharp versus a regular F. So that's what we got over here. Where is it on the freaking? There it is. All right. So now we've got F sharp. Perfect.
Yes.
And again, this is going to be a D major. And this one is a D minor. So now you kind of see the difference between a major chord and a minor chord. The only difference is the third. And sometimes it might be maybe an F flat, sometimes it may be a regular F over here, or sometimes it's just a regular F and an F sharp or something like that. It just depends on the chord, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, but look at this, it says 3 flat. Doesn't that mean, hey, this letter should be flat?
No.
It doesn't mean that. It means that, you know, because look, this letter doesn't say 3 sharp, it's just 3, and it's just whatever that letter happens to be. This one has to be one less than that. So this one happens to be an F sharp is the correct one here. So therefore this must be the F over here. Even though the number says flat, it doesn't necessarily mean the letter is flat.
Yeah.
All right. So that's pretty good stuff. Now, let's head on to the next couple of chords. And you've, of course, noticed from the D sections that the rest of the chords in D are the same. As you can see here, the only thing we're changing is the first string, and they actually has the same number. So we don't even really need to do this twice. We just need to do it one time and just understand the difference between the major and the minor chords.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the next component over here. This is going to be, what letter was that again?
That was B.
That one?
D. I'm sorry, D. D.
It's a D.
Yeah.
This one here?
It's E.
So
right.
Which string is this?
E, A, D, G. G.
This is the
G, G string.
And it's going to be from G, you go up 2 spaces. Because that's a 2.
So would it go to A?
A is correct. And then over here, what letter was that?
3 was F.
This was not an F.
Oh no, sorry. Over on A. No, over on A.
This is the
then.
B string.
Yeah.
So
B string. Number 3.
here's the B.
B. So it's 3 spaces.
3 spaces, right? 1 space is
B,
C.
C.
So 3 spaces must be
D.
D. All right. So we have a D, A, D, and then we have one more 0 here.
Open E.
Open E, and again, it's the same thing for both the chords, so we're just going to do it at the same time. So we have a D, A, D. Now, of course, when you're looking at chords like this, you're not going to repeat letters, right? So you're just going to look at that. Now, is this properly put in order? Is this the proper order?
Not alphabetically, no.
It's not alphabetical. Can we set this alphabetically? Starting with the letter D, of course. It's a D chord.
Yeah.
So it should be, what's the order we should be taking?
D, E, A.
Exactly. All right, so we got some D, E, A agents here. Let's turn these into numbers. D is 1.
E is 1. So D is 2.
What? D is 1. As always. So what's E?
Oh, 2.
2. And A is, of course, 4.
4?
And we see it here. It's
Oh,
the same
5?
number. 5.
Huh.
Isn't that right? Because if you count D, E, F, G, A, you get 5.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Huh.
I mean, it's fine. Like, you have to double check sometimes. It's not necessarily always very obvious. So, but yeah, if you see like a 5 is labeled here for A, then this one is also going to be 5 here. So we have a D, E, A. That's our next chord. What do you know when we have a chord that involves a 2? What does that signify? This is our grouping of chords over here.
Oh, suspended.
It's suspended. How do we label this as?
S to S.
Sort of, yeah. Can you give it a name all the way through?
Useless.
A what?
E sus
E
for the chord.
sus?
Isn't number two? Number two suspended, so that's sus, right?
Yes, but how do we call this? You may not remember from the other lesson. I deleted the notes and stuff.
I don't remember.
What chord is it? Is it an what?
The two is suspended, so that's the E chord.
It's not an E chord. All right. See, when we look at
Or
this,
doing E chords on the E string.
an E chord would
Two
have
is-
an.
Go ahead.
Well, what are these chords? These are D chords, right?
Right.
Why is it a D chord? Why isn't it like an F sharp chord? Why is it an A
Because the
chord?
first
Because the first letter is
D.
D. Great. So this must be a what letter chord?
D.
D chord. Yeah, it's a D chord. Okay, so it's a D, then
D sus.
sus, right? And then what number is it?
5.
5.
Two.
It's
No.
2. Isn't that right?
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah, that makes sense,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
It's
Yeah.
a D sus 2. All right, you can kind of think of suspended as like a substitution in a way, because normally it should be a 3 right there, 1 3 5, but this is a 1 2 5. So we're replacing the 3, we're substituting it with a 2, and now you've got a D sus 2.
Yeah.
All right, so that's pretty good stuff right there. And of course, when we look at the next one over here, what are the letters again? We start with the letter D over here for the 0, right?
D.
And then this one is
2. E.
it's not an E chord, or it's not an E note.
G.
It's not a G
G
either, but it's a
string.
G string.
So it starts on E0. Wait, E is. Fuck. This is
After
really
G comes
confusing.
what?
A.
All right. So there's our A. And then here we have
Yeah, but how do we get to A? I don't understand that.
well, yeah, so from G, here's G.
Yeah, but here the zero, the open is D, right? And then
The
you
open here is 0, is G. We're on the G string.
but before that is the G string D.
This is a D, right?
But how do we get to G? Are we going by the string?
Well, yeah, you have to count from the string.
Okay.
Right, so the string is 0, correct? For G. G is 0 on this string.
Right.
Right, G is
Oh,
0.
and two more. Oh,
Plus
okay.
2.
So it's A. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus 2. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So so the
that,
next
I
thing
see.
here starts on B. 0 is B. 1 is
B1 is C.
C, and then the third note on the C, on the B string is
C. 2 D.
D. Very good. See, it's
Yeah.
another D. Of course, we don't really care about that, but finally, we're just sort of double checking, making sure you first of all you remember how to figure out what letter it is from the string, and also just to make sure that the letters that we write down here are correct. So now this 3 here on the first string,
So E string. So E's 1.
E's not 1. E is 0.
Oh, okay.
Okay. F is 1, right?
How's F1? Oh, it's E's
E is 0.
Up 1. 1 is
Up
F.
1. And
Yeah.
then plus another 2 gets you
G.
G. Very good. So now we have D, A, G. Is this incorrect alphabetical order?
D.
What should the order be?
Yeah, it is DGA.
DGA is the correct alphabetical order. So what are the numbers?
D is 1. Then 2 spaces D. See, G is
Count it up from D. D, E, F,
4.
G is 4. Very good. And then from A, well, after G comes...
So 2. No, that's all right.
It's a little different when you're...
Okay.
Well, when you're looking at frets, frets are going to be weird, okay? You got to know whether it's 2 or 1. But in this situation, if you're just counting letters, the next letter is the next number. So G...
F 4
or
5.
5, exactly.
5.
I know it's a little weird. Like, we have different number systems and different letter systems and different naming systems. You just have to figure out which one are you using. You know,
Right.
and I see how it can be very confusing. But yeah, we have a 1, a 4, and a 5 here.
4
So-
is suspended.
Yeah, what do we call this chord?
It's D still. Sus. 2. Right? No, I'm sorry. D sus 4.
Very good. Making sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We just kind of
Yeah.
have to remember what these formulas are. You know, it's a 1, 2, 5. Or what's the original formula
For D?
for any chord? The original formula.
I don't remember.
Well, it's written all over the place.
Oh, 1
We
through
got-
5?
Yeah, 1 through
1 through
5.
5?
There you go. That's the original formula for every chord, no matter what. The original.
Okay.
Now, that's is that a major or a minor chord? A 1, 3, 5.
Major.
It's a major. Now, how do we make it a minor?
Made a minor going with I guess a half step down on the third.
Right, so the major is a 1, 3, 5, and the minor is a 1, 3 flat 5. So now you've got your basic chord shapes that every single chord that you play that are open chord, like majors and minors, they're all going to follow the same formula. The letters might be slightly different, but these numbers are consistent. It's 1, 3, 5 or 1, 3 flat 5.
Yeah.
All right, for all the other chord shapes, you know, it just depends on what letters you see being played, and then you assign a certain number to those letters based on the order that it comes in the alphabet, usually, and then you can figure out if those are the numbers, what's the chord called. So let's try a couple more, because over here we have to go to the F chord, so let's try that one. Usually, with 2 more chords, you should be able to figure out kind of a little bit. Now, I know this is kind of difficult. We're sort of doing this a little bit intensely here. Let's see if we can get this next chord. We start with the F chord, the F major. We know that F major is 1, 3, 5, right?
Yeah.
F major. So if it was a 1, a 3, and a 5, what are the letters?
One is D? Oh, F. Oh, we're doing the F chord, yeah. D. F. F. Duh. Up to is G? No. Sorry, on the. Sorry, which string are we?
F
on
is
the
1,
first?
right? Don't worry about the
Yeah.
strings. F is
Okay.
1.
Yeah. Then going up 2 spaces.
Okay, what's the next letter?
E, F, G,
Okay, G is
A.
2, right? And then an A
Yeah.
is 3.
A. So it's
All
A,
right.
A, C.
Very good. Now we can check ourselves by looking at the strings. You see how, like, when you look at the formula here, you have to count on your fingers, and when you look at the strings here, you have to go by this formula over here, this metric.
Right.
All right. This metric only works when you're looking at the strings here. It doesn't really, I mean, obviously it works here as well, but it's not going to work here like so much. You just count on your fingers over here. All right, so that's the first chord, F, A, C. Let's just make sure that this A, are we confident that's an A? It's not like an A sharp or an A flat. Where's the A on this location? Where can you see an A? Which one of these numbers is the A?
So A's 3.
Are you
So-
sure about that? This one here? That's the A?
Not really. No, that's D string.
That's the D string. And if we go up to the third fret here,
E, F, that'd be F.
that would be an F. If we go over here, this is the G string, so that must be
A.
A. So we found our A,
That's A.
so we're correct to assume that this is an A. It's not an F, A sharp or an A flat, right? Kind of like
Right.
what happened over here. We just want to make sure that that's correct. All right, next chord. We're going to look at this one here. And we're going to notice that some of these numbers are the same. So let's go back to these numbers. That one was an
was a D string, so it's
B
an
string,
F.
it's an F, right? So you're starting to quickly be able to sort of calculate, hey, it's 3 spaces away from D. This one here, what one is that
A.
again? It's an A, exactly. See, now you know you get the A there. And this one here on the B string is 1, so...
Wait, A is that B?
Is the B string is 0, B is 0,
Zero.
so 1 is what?
0, 1 is C.
1 is C, so now we have our C there. And now we have an extra note over here.
The E is
an
E string.
E string, 0. Okay?
Bass.
Yeah, it spells face. So what are the numbers that we are associating with these letters?
F is 1.
F is 1.
A is 3. C is 5. C. C is 7. E 7.
Very good. 1, 3, 5, and 7. Remember that the 7, we have 3 kinds of 7s. Is it the minor 7, the major 7, or the dominant 7? And how do you know? Well,
it's not major because we have major already.
Which 7 is that? Is it a 7 flat? Is it a regular 7? Or is it a 7 flat? And how do you know? Well, here's how you know. You go back to this thing. If let's say C was 1 in this situation, what's 7?
C, D, E, F, G, A, B.
B is the 7 in this situation. How many spaces away is 7 from 1 in this case?
6.
Other way. From here to there.
From C to D. So 1 space away.
1 space away, right? From B to C, we have a 1. So we know in this particular case right here, this is the major key, the major scale. We know that the 7 is only 1 space away from the 1, okay? If you go backwards 1 space from the 1, you get to the 7. That's the...
Yeah, okay.
That's this
other way. Okay, yeah.
If you were to go back 2 spaces to get to your 7, you'd be playing a 7 flat. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in this case, now that we're in the key of F, how many spaces away is E from F?
Is that 2 spaces?
Look over here.
Oh, no, E from F is 1 space.
Yeah, it's 1 space. Or, yeah, so we're in the key of F. So we're correct here in saying, hey, this is an actual 7. It's not a 7 flat, because if it was a 7 flat, you'd be looking at an E flat. Okay?
Okay.
So
I see
E flat versus an E.
Right.
All right. So now we know that it's only one of these 7s. It's the one that I've highlighted here. It's not a 7 flat. So
it's a 7 major?
It's a major 7.
Is it? Because and major 7. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
All right. Very good stuff. Yeah. Now, quickly here, we just got a couple more things to do before we wrap it up. Here's the next one, the F. We're looking at this thing. Again, we're looking at these letters. Which are these 3 letters that we have here?
So,
obviously, this
F.
one's F.
F is 1. Oh, F.
Try to remember this here.
So if F is...
Not the numbers yet, just right here. What are these letters? That letter is what?
2 is... So it's 1 space back from F. E?
We're on the G string.
Oh, G is... So G is 2?
G is 0.
G is 0, up 2 spaces.
2 spaces up from G.
A.
Is an A. All right. The next one here is the 1 on the B string. So we know that is the letter
C.
Okay. And then the final string here is this one on the E string. What's the 3rd fret on the E string? We know that E is 0.
0 E.
1 is what?
Was D? Is it D? No.
0 is E. 1 is
F.
F. And then if you jump up 2 spaces,
A.
you get to, not quite. another way to think about it is here's your E string, right? Now, what's the fret? It's the fret 3, right? So let's count 1, 2, 3.
Oh, it's a G?
So we're at G. That's another way to look at it. All right, so now we have F, A, C, G. Is this the correct order of letters? Yes, it is. I know that you could say, hey, the G should go there, but this is a really high-pitched G. It's not a low-pitched G. Therefore, we're going to put it after the C here. So let's now turn these into numbers. Obviously, it's 1, 3, and a 5 here.
5.
So what's this G?
7 is E. 8, 9.
Okay. So now
That's
we look right here. Here's the formula for a 9 chord. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Here's the formula for an add 9 chord. 1, 3, 5, 9.
So it's F add 9.
F add 9. There you go. Perfect. Simple, simple, simple. Now, the final chord is a B minor. So we're going to take a look at the letter B. We have to try to figure out what these letters are, but we could also kind of think about this. B, 1, 3, flat 5, correct? If it's a B minor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so let's kind of think about that first. 1, 3, flat 5. Our first letter is a 1.
So
Our
it's
next letter.
F. Yeah. B, E.
Let's take a look at this note right here.
So D string.
It's the D string, and we're looking at the 4 from the D. So let's take a look. Let's just try to add that up. So D is there, and we go 1, 2, 3, and then
4. F.
4. But
it's an F minor,
it's
isn't
an F,
flat.
not flat, because that would be an E. All right, flat is backwards.
F sharp.
F sharp would be correct, right? Because
Yeah.
we would be, again, here D, or 2 takes you to E, and then 1 takes you to F, but you got to go 1 more than that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't go 5 because it takes you to G, so what's halfway in between these two? F sharp.
F sharp.
Very good. So now we know something in here is an F sharp. We'll just stick it right there just for fun.
How is that different than, like, if you look at D minor? D minor has like the same setup. B. Okay, never mind. Forget it. Yeah, it's a
This is a B right here.
different. Yeah, right.
So now we have a B and an F sharp. I'm not necessarily saying it's this, but we'll just take a look at what these letters are. So B, F sharp, and then what is this letter right here?
It's a G string.
It's the G string. So you already know that 2 is an A, right? So what's up 2 from
It's a C.
from A? Let's count it.
2 from A. Oh,
plus 2 equals B.
okay.
Okay, well, we already have a B here, so we don't have to deal with that. But let's look at the next one. This 3 on the B string, it's always that 3 again. What is that? Remember that?
3 on the B.
3 on the B string. You can count it up
F?
here. It's not an F. So
Why am I
here, count it up here. Well, not sure why. I'm not sure how you got there, but here's your B. You might have thought I said D, but here's a B. So add 3 to B. 1
So B.
takes you to C. Plus 2
goes to D.
takes you to D. So is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so that's the D note. We're going to stick it right there. Now, here is another letter right here. This is the second on the first string. 0 is
E.
E, so 2 must be, if we go, Jesus Christ. If we go up 2 from E, what do we get?
It's F, but it's F sharp.
Sharp, okay, great.
Yeah,
See, you're
'cause you
starting
can't
to
go-
sort of get this now. All right. Now, is the correct order? Is this the correct order of letters? B, F, D?
Then F sharp? Oh, we have F sharp. Okay. How come we don't put F sharp in as the 4th?
Because we already have an F sharp here. We don't have to repeat ourselves.
Okay.
So we're just double checking to make sure that these letters are all in there. But now that we've got the ingredients, let's put them in order. So what's the order here? What's the correct order?
Is it BDF?
B, D, F would be correct. B, D, F sharp. That's the correct order. Right, so now we'll assign some numbers here. Remember, it was B, 3 flat, and a 5, right? 1, 3 flat, 5. Okay. So, yeah, it's a little bit complicated, but, you know, we're starting to get somewhere. Right?
Yeah. Right.
It lines up, and that's our first chord. Let's go on to the next one. We've only got 2 little things left here. So this next one, let's look at the letters that are the same. These 3 are the same. The only one that changed was this one. So instead of the F sharp,
So the E string E.
we have an E, all right? So, and would I be correct in saying instead of an F sharp, I just put an E and we delete the F sharp?
Yeah, I think.
Would I?
Well, because you're
Let's check the other letters here real quick. What letter is this?
D plus 4 is
This is the D string, so
B.
D plus 4. You're going the wrong way there, man.
D plus 4.
D plus 4. We have to count 2.
2, 3.
Okay,
So it's
C,
F sharp.
3, F sharp. Okay, so we actually still have an F sharp. We can't delete that. We still have an F sharp. See that?
Yeah.
All right. So even though one of these letters changed and we took away the F sharp over here, you might be tempted to delete it from your little list of letters here, but you can't do that. You have to go back and check to make sure you still have all the other letters, because we still had an F sharp. There was 2 instances of an F sharp in that chord.
Okay.
All right. We only took away one of those instances, and now we put that right over here. All right. So let's label these in terms of numbers. 1 here, obviously.
1.
This is still a B flat. 3 flat. This one is still, it's the same numbers here.
F sharp is 5.
5, and then this one here.
So E's a 7, right?
It's not a 7.
No, it's
I have to count up a lot.
but you have to go backwards, right?
You have to count up a lot here. So
Go 1.
let you know, another B over here would be 8. So let's start from 8. That's B.
Okay.
B is an 8. Let's say it like this. 8.
C, D.
I don't know. 8 is here. So 8, B, right? And then C, and
9,
then D.
10,
And then we've got
12.
E. That wasn't 12.
Do we go back? Start out.
Okay, let's start over. So B is 8.
B's 8.
Okay.
9, 10.
9 is going to be C. 10
Yeah.
is going to be D.
11.
11 is
E.
going to be E. Right?
Okay.
See how we did that?
No. I mean, sort of.
Okay, remember that
I don't
when
know.
you're looking at strings here, that when you're looking at the strings and you're trying to figure out what fret it is, you have to use the 2-2-1 formula over here. When you're just looking at letters over here in this number system with letters and numbers, the only thing you need to do is count on your fingers. Starting with B is an 8.
How's B an 8 again?
Well, if you start from 1 and you count all the way up to 7, you're going to get to an A flat or an A or whatever, because B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Now you're at 8.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I get it.
B, C, D, E. You're at 11.
Okay.
All right, you just have to count on your fingers and you'll get the right number here. Now, the same formula applies to 11s as it does to ninths. What do we see over here? We have a 1,
3, 5.
3, 5, 11. So what do we call this chord?
It's B at 11.
Very close. There is an at 11, but we forgot something. Keep in mind that this is a B minor chord.
It's B major chord? B major?
It's not a B major. What's the difference between B major and B minor?
The half step.
The half step there. This is still a B.
But still B minor?
It's still B minor. It's a B minor at 11. See that?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. In the other case, we had an F at 11. We didn't need to say that this was we could say it's an F major at 11, but we never really say that. All right?
Okay. Yeah.
So only if it's a B minor do we pretty much denotate that. It defaults to a major. The final chord is over here. We're running out of time here, but let's just go ahead and wrap this up with the last chord. What are the letters here? We still have, I'll tell them for you. This is an F sharp. The next one down is going to be a B note, and the next one here is going to be what note? This is on the B string.
B string plus 2D.
B is up, not quite.
So up 2 spaces. B is 0.
B is 0. 1 would be
C.
C.
Oh, so it's a D minor?
It's not a B flat. It's not a D flat because that would put you at a double flat. You see how 3 is already flat here? Okay. See how D is already flattened? So you don't want to have a double flat. So if you say a D flat, you're going to call this a double flat. But it's not a double flat. So if it's not a D flat, it could be what's in between C and D. It's either a D flat or
C sharp.
A C sharp, exactly. So this actually has to be a C sharp rather than a D flat. Okay? Just because, again, you don't want to have a double flat here. You see?
Right. Yeah.
And then the final note that we had is a 0. This is what? Of course, an E, right?
E string.
E, very good. So let's put this in order. We actually start this with the B right here. And then we have the C sharp here. And then we put the F sharp over here. You see how we have to do it that way? B, C, F, and then we have the super high note, which is again the 11 here. Let's start with the labeling process. Now we have a 1, and then of course this must be a
These are 3, that's 2.
This is a 2, and then this is of course still a 5, and this is an 11. So we have a chord here called
B sharp.
Nope. What happens with the 2s?
Oh, B sus.
Yes, that's right. It's a B sus.
Add 11.
B sus what?
Is it add 11?
Yeah, but you have to explain which sus it is. There's one or the other.
B sus 2.
It's a B sus 2 add 11. Very good. There you go. So now we have our super complicated B sus 2 add 11, and that's gonna have to do it for today.
Yep.
I have another student who just joined. That's pretty intense, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. A lot to think about.
A little bit, yeah. I would suggest to, maybe review this video or something. I'm going to post it up, and that was pretty good, man. I'll see you around, okay?
Okay. Yeah, thanks. See ya.
Awesome. Peace.